Salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, presentation and discussion on RTI.
So, I'm Matt McClintock. I teach AP Lit and English 2 here at the high school. Stacy Marshall, one of our counselors, and Amy Saylor teaches Spanish. We had the wonderful pleasure of going to an RTI conference in Arkansas a few weeks ago. RTI, for those who don't know, is response to intervention. Now, the thing that we were taught at SNU is that is a elementary and a middle school problem. Once you get to high school, we have it all ironed out, you're good to go. It's not the case. And I love that Bethany was willing to make that different. A lot of times we get to high school and we're singletons. I'm just the AP teacher here. I'm the only AP Lit teacher. You can figure this out. What RTI tells us is we're going to work together. We're going to work across grades, across subject areas to help build bridges so these kids can learn. The thing I love about RTI, it's not a SPED thing. It's not an EL thing. It is a all kids thing. If one kid doesn't understand, for example, AP Lit, they don't understand the difference between a simile and a metaphor, that's an AP thing that RTI can help with, right? Let's say I'm not getting it across well. I can go across the hall and say, Mandy, what have you done in the past to help me, or to help these kids? And she can help teach. I can lean on Miss Marshall and say, listen, I'm having a kid who's having just some problems at home, and it's interacting and interfering with learning. What can we do together? I don't figure this out on my own. And so RTI, Response to Intervention, allows us as teachers to build those bridges. Ralph Ellison said that education is all about building bridges. And if that's bridges from home to school, bridges from subject to subject, from grade to grade, our students here at Bethany are going to explode in going up. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
And we're just super excited that you guys were willing to give us this opportunity and the opportunity to send our colleagues in the future, because there are more conferences, and we would like them to be as excited as we were coming back, because we had meetings until from 7:30 until like 4:30, and at 4:30 we were sitting in the conference room. There were only a few other schools, and Bethany was like, because we got all excited, because this is something that we strongly believe. We're educators, and we want to educate our children, but our children have to learn, and if we're not teaching them in the potential to learn, so we have 3 tiers. Everyone, all students are tier 1, so everyone gets the same opportunity. Tier 2, if we're not getting it, it's like Matt said, we're going to reteach it. And that's something that we move so quickly, I think, in education, that we've got to get this standard. Well, we're establishing our standards, and so now we're reteaching the whole that they missed. And so the other kids that are doing well are going to continue to move on, and so we're going to do enrichment for those kiddos, even for our AP kiddos, that you don't see holes, but sometimes they might have holes. It's okay. We're going to reteach, and then they're going to be successful going out. So that's our grand plan. So now we have to get everybody on board. So starting with you guys, and then working with our lovely teachers.
What I love too is that this was like a booster shot for me. It was just, like we love what we do. I love what I do, and I feel like I do it really well, but I also love knowing ways that I can improve and be able to reach every kid. What I loved about this too was that it is every kid, every subject. I think RTI, I've always thought, was just a path to special ed programs. The way they presented it, if it's implemented well, that is one aspect of it as well, but that is not, especially at the high school level, that's not it. And the other thing is, like what Stacy was saying, like we're excited about this. Good news is the foundation has already been laid, and I remember when Dr. Flinton was my principal here at the high school, he invited me and a handful of other kids to go to a conference similar to this, and so then he got promoted, and so then he left our building to go to the administration building. And then we took all of our ideas, and we were super excited, and we took them to our new principal, Mr. Moulton, who was so on board with it. And so together with him, we implemented what is now known as brick and mortar at the high school, we are building this, but what we learned at this conference was just such a boost, and it gave us tools like what our next steps are. And so we're excited. And she said that it would be really cool to send more teachers, especially from the high school, because it is easier to turn a ship when everybody's believing that that's the way to go. But I'm even going to place it out there, and if you want to pick it up, that would be great, to bring somebody from this solution tree company here to do some on-site training.
We may be fans.
Yeah.
We're just a little groupie.
That would be an amazing thing. But the steps are already in motion, so I feel like we're gonna have next steps, and it'll be easier. So thank you. Yeah, we're super stoked to spread the passion. And
is that something you can do in a PD day?
yes. Yes.
They've offered one day, multiple days. Like they say, this is something that it depends on what your district wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I don't know cost-wise what that looks like or anything, but it's exciting to get everybody else where we feel right now.
Right.
And I'll say, especially on my behalf, I think everybody else's. This is my first year here at Bethany. This is a district like no other. I came from a wonderful district, loved it, had a great time. But showing up, you go, oh, this is different. And even just people, Ivor or Flint and Melton investing in saying, we want you to help make our school better. And not just being okay with, yeah, our scores were good, ACT was good, AP was good, we're good where we're at, making it better. And we can always get there. And I love it.
The people that we met that were running this are us. They're professionals in the system. They are former teachers, former principals, former special ed that are now coming together to impart their knowledge on
What they implemented.
Yeah.
They implemented
what they
these-
did this, and they were extremely successful. So that's just something that we feel like, like Matt said, that would just be beneficial for us to make us, even stronger. Because it's not for us, it's for the kids. We're sending our kids, and they say over and over, the all is always capitalized. We are sending all of our children out in the world to be independent adults. It's our job to help them get there. And if we're not teaching to where they're learning, we adjust. And so we reteach. And that's our TI.
Questions?
Any
Anybody?
questions?
No, I'm excited that
You
you
feel
all are
excited?
ready to go. I can tell that you all are excited about it.
Yeah.
I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing those next steps as you
Yeah.
work with Mr. Melton, what those implementations look like, and how we focus in on and identify those kids that are in those 1, 2, and 3 different intervention groups, and how, what that focus. Brick and mortar is fantastic that came out of it. But there will be other things I know that you guys work with him on to create.
And even with the tiers, it's wonderful because we like to say, here's a tier 3 kid, here's a 2-tier kid, but it really just depends on what you're learning, the units. It's a fluid thing. Kids are in and out of different tiers, and that's amazing because that requires teacher involvement. It's not here's a packet I'll see at the end of the hour. It makes a teacher need to be involved, and that's the best part of this whole thing.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Item 4, presentation and discussion on an out-of-town trip to Washington D.C. for the girls basketball team in January 2024. Back up to Sailor.
So, like he said, I'm Coach Saylor, and we had a great season this year, and as you guys are aware, part of being with that great season, we have been starting to get some national ranking notice, people starting to rank us nationally. I think the last thing I saw on ESPN, we were ranked 25th nationally. And when that happens, people start to reach out. I start to get the phone calls and the emails, and there were several opportunities for us as a team to go and play in tournaments or do some traveling, maybe down to Texas. But this one just caught my eye, and it's called the St. James Martin Luther King Classic Invitational. And Mr. Fairnot reached out to me, and he started communicating with me, and at first I had a hard time believing what he was trying to tell me, because a lot of this is just it's an amazing opportunity for our girls in our program. We would leave January the 12th, which would be a Friday morning, hopefully book a flight early, and head up there to Washington. We would have all day Friday to kind of just sightsee. We would play a game Saturday. It's not a tournament, but it's 2 regular season games. So we would play Saturday. Then on Sunday, we would meet with the other schools that are there, and they would take us on another tour of the DC area, winding up at the Martin Luther King Memorial. And that's all they will pay for all of that. Then on Monday, we would play a second game and then board the plane to come back Monday night late. But some of the things that they are offering us, they're going to offer us $5,000 reimbursement on our airfare. They're offering us 8 hotel rooms for 3 nights, all expenses paid there. They will provide 6 meals for each individual person that is on the trip with us, the educational tour on Sunday. They'll provide ground transportation to and from airport, hotel, gym, and the educational trip. But it's, you know, I feel like being over Martin Luther King weekend and actually being there, where he talked about I have a dream and gave this speech, I think that's something that these girls in our program will remember for a lifetime. So this one came to me, and so we just in communication back and forth, and then I started talking to Dr. Eichelberger about it, and he said his number one place to visit is Washington, D.C. He loves all the history there, and so what a great opportunity we would be giving our girls to have this opportunity to go up and just learn more about the history of the United States of America and Martin Luther King and all he stood for. So.
Questions?
Are you taking the whole team? I mean, it would be everybody.
I would love to take everybody in our program in the high school. That's my focus. I think when you start to draw a line, then I think that's when you start to leave people out. And I think this is an opportunity that everybody could enjoy and learn from.
How does it fit into your existing schedule?
So, you know, our schedule, I'm in charge of the basketball schedule, and we finished up our schedule the end of February for this coming year. And so I had to kind of backtrack and call some of the coaches and some of the schools, and I had talked to 2 particular schools that, you know, boys and girls play on the same night, of course, and so that would be an issue if, you know, we stepped away and wouldn't play a girls game but did play a boys game. So calling these 2 schools that we were talking with, we came up with the idea that those 2 schools would play each other, so that would make up for the game that they were missing out on when we wouldn't play them a girls game. Our boys would still play those games, but then those 2 teams would play a girls game. So that was kind of not an easy fix, and we haven't concreted anything in, but that's the plan stepping forward. And then also that Friday that we would leave on January the 12th, we were scheduled to play Clinton, and I contacted Clinton and talked to the coaches, and I gave them all our open dates, and they said, well, let's just move it to the Thursday night before, so January the 11th, and so that fits our schedule as well, and so that would bump that game, so it would open up that opportunity for us to have that travel time.
So, Eric, you haven't turned in the form yet, right, for an overnight travel? Is that true?
No.
Okay, so we're not voting on this tonight, you guys, this is informational. I wanted you guys to have this, so think about it. We'll come back in the end of the month, which is about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll be a vote.
Okay.
But you know, nobody's getting pitchforks, so I think we're good.
Very good. Thank you.
I think it's going to be a really cool. There's probably going to end up being a little bit of money spent out of general fund on this deal. I think it is an incredible reward for a state championship team. It's an honor to go to a national event like this, and I do believe, Eric and I talked about the fact that these girls will remember that they were in Washington, D.C. If you've not been there where the Martin Luther King statue is, it's amazing, and they'll be there that day. And they'll also, I don't know if you're going to get to see the Lincoln Memorial at some point, but that's where he did the speech. He was standing there. So I think it's going to be a special thing, and hope we can go. Yeah. Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, discussion and possible action to select a child nutrition management service provider.
Okay, so in your packet, page 1 has the bid rubric that I use for the rebids that will return on child nutrition services for the next 5 years. And then page 2 has the scoring sheet that was based off that rubric information. And as you can see, Sodexo scored the highest. And so our recommendation is that we stay with Sodexo.
You guys have any questions about that? We've had a great partnership with Sodexo over the years, and I'm glad it came out on the rubric, but that's the way I would have recommended you anyway, because we've got such a good relationship with them, and they're doing a great job, and we want to continue that.
Drew, when you go to them with recommendations or requests, do you find that Sodexo
Absolutely
meets them?
They are very receptive to things that we need. Tell me what your what your job now is now.
What my job
Yeah.
is now? So I'm Jennifer Strong. I'm the
nice.
district manager. I cover the state of Oklahoma for Sodexo. But back in the day, I was also responsible at Putnam City and oversaw Bethany then too. So I've kind of grown my career. Kelly now is in the position I used to have, and of course Barb, you guys all know, makes the magic happen every day.
And Jennifer wouldn't say it this way, but she's a big wig. She's her being here this evening, and she comes to my office if I need something, if there's a big something going on, she'll be here. She'll make it a point to. Of course, she lives in Yukon, so that's a little easier, right?
Yeah.
But she is very receptive to our needs, and we've I don't have any complaints, and I don't think you do either, right, Jennifer?
Have a motion.
Move approval of item 5.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wolfhead.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. Item 6, consent agenda.
The first is the minutes. Any changes on the minutes?
Any minute, any,
No.
nope.
Okay, then we'll start with page 9, the activity fund summary. You can see we still have $147,000 in outstanding encumbrances. Several of those will roll over to next year, just because they're for uniforms and helmet reconditioning and things like that won't really happen until July, that need to get started in June. So this is where we're currently at, and then page 10 to 15 are the summaries for each sub-account. Questions over any of that? Okay, page 16 starts the general fund revenue. So just to bring to your attention, that balance column, once we get to 0, that means we've met our appropriated amount on our estimate of needs for what we've received on the first page. All of those are zeros except for our foundation and incentive, state aid payment, and our textbooks. And so both of those will have a June payment, and then those will go to 0 as well. So starting at the top, district taxes were up $51,916. Interest is up $28,633. The next 3, reimbursement, other local and general fund refund, are up $601,381 from last year. And just remember that's insurance, claims, and the grant money that we didn't have last year. District child nutrition is up $132,187, and so total district collections are up $814,120 from last year. Our intermediate sources, county formula, is down $769, and mortgage tax is down $49,000, so that brings our total intermediate down $49,782. Under state, gross production is up $78.63. Motor vehicle is up $92,292. School land is up $12,238. Vehicle stamp is down $162. Foundation and incentive is up $374,075. Flexible benefit allowance is up $69,955. Alternative education is down $952. National board is the same. Reading sufficiency is down $1,067. Textbooks is down $47,938, and again that will be made up of that last payment, or partially. ACE Technology is up 590, Child Nutrition is up 671, and Family and Consumer Science is the same, so our total state is up 329,479. On page 17 is the federal collections. The only changes from last month are MeChif is up $7,569, and Child Nutrition is up $30,949. So our total federal collections are up $689,323 from last year, bringing our total revenue up $1.777 million from last year. Questions on any of that? And the next two pages are encumbrances for your approval from the general fund. I'll just ask if you have any questions over any of those.
On 833, is there a time frame of when we would get those buses?
I have not heard a delivery date. Drew, have you?
Not an official delivery date, but I don't think we'll have them by the time school starts. There was a holdup with the money being released from the grantors, and so we couldn't, part of the grant process was we couldn't put in an order until we had that okay. It was like they had to write a purchase order, basically. Somebody had to sign it. I called the lady several times, and she said there's a problem, but not a problem like we don't have money, a problem like somebody's not getting it through. So I think it'll be in the September, maybe as late as October range, but we'll get them.
Yeah. It's nice to get them.
Yeah.
Questions over any others? Okay.
One other question, sorry, on 852, those are the just new terminals for the cafeterias?
Yes, so we have, for as long as I have been here forever, Child Nutrition has used one point of sale system, and we have used Infinite Canvas for our student information system, and they don't talk. So it becomes very problematic at child count time and just various things throughout the year that those systems are not talking together. And so that was one thing that we did sit down and discuss with, so we started with Kelly, and then we brought in Jennifer and Barb, and so we are all on the same page that we are moving to Infinite Canvas for next year. It is gonna make everybody's job easier, and in the process, we're just gonna go ahead and update all the terminals and everything with the Infinite Canvas stuff, so it'll all flow smoothly.
That's good.
Yes. Okay, page 20 starts the function summary for the general fund. We are currently at 89.2% of our appropriated amount. Last year we were at 89.3%, so we are down 0.1%. Page 21 is the function summary for the building fund, and it is the same as last month. And page 22 is the function summary for the bond fund. It is all the same as well as last month. Page 23 is the function summary for the sinking fund, and we deposited $10,049.92 in taxes, and so that amount went up by that. And then page 24 and 25 are fundraiser additions to the athletic director account and the cross-country account for June.
Motion for commission.
Motion to approve items 6A through E. Second.
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Molstad,
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. Staff reports.
Great scores in the elementary school, exciting.
Thank you, yes,
Congratulations.
yeah, several good areas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Making that move from math tracks
Yeah.
to reflex math was Solid.
Big time, big time. I mean, so we always want to emphasize math fact fluency. And we were doing that, we were incentivizing kids, but what we learned was that some kids were incentivized and some kids weren't. And what this does allows us to track because we were doing medals, you earn medals at the end of the year, and it's great if you got the medals, but we also didn't know at the end of the kids who didn't get the medals, where were they at? And what this does allows us to track where every single kid is at, regardless of where they're at. You know, whether they're way up high or way down low, it tells us where they're at, and we can work with that. So it's really been a game changer this year. Teachers love it, kids love it, and that's probably the best part about it so far. So,
How long had you used Math Tracks? Just curious.
20, I mean, it's way before me, 20 something years. It was one of those traditional cores that had been in place for a long time, and
Did you have any pushback, Ruben, Dr. Bellows, when you?
Ms. Donnelly will laugh. Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you take something that's been going on for 20 years and look to change it up a little bit, there's going to be a little bit of conversation that goes with it, I would say. I wouldn't say pushback. Our teachers do a great job of listening to the logic behind it and how it can be beneficial to students. The other thing I would commend them on is really doing it. You know, they weren't hesitant to like, man, I'm just let this fail. I mean, they bought in and they went for it, and huge progress this year.
So they happy with the results?
Absolutely. I would say now they would probably want me to be gone if I said we're not going to do it. So
That's great.
yeah, no, they fully bought in, and kids fully bought in as well. So it's great.
Ruben says there was no pushback, but he made Donnelly start his car for the first couple of weeks.
Taste his lunch.
Yeah.
So good.
Item 8, discussion of possible action to approve or not approve the district's capacity of students in each grade level at each school site as presented.
So we made a couple of just tweaks, but basically we just wanted to, I talked to each of the principals. One of them was in Aruba at the time, but I talked to him anyway, and we just made those where we had a couple of kid padding on where we are. You know, we know that freshman class is coming in, although we don't have the exact numbers, we expect them to be very high. You know, they'll go over. Most of those will go over. We may end up over in all those areas. We're over in almost all of those grade levels right now. We may go even higher because you've got military that can come in if they're active duty. They come, foster kids come, and those are the only two that I think those are the only.
Staff, you typically.
Yeah, staff. If we hire somebody that's got a kid, so. But you know, what it ends up being is right at 1750, which is where we want to stay. We're right in about the middle of 4A. That's what we fill all the classrooms. They're full. Even in elementary, they're full. We've tried to keep them down in the 20-22 range in the lower elementary, and then we bump them up to about 25 in the upper. But sometimes those get away with this. You don't know who's going to move into the district, which is the third way. That's the one I was trying to think of. If you move into the district, you get to be here. So those three things we don't have in our control, but we try to adjust it, and that's what we did here.
So with our I mean, so it really doesn't. It looks pretty bleak for someone that's trying to get in on a transfer in, right?
Yeah, it's unless you're. I always tell people, come in pre-K, you got a slim chance in. That's roughly about 40 kids that we bring in pre-K. We have about 40 in the district, roughly year to year, and we bring up 40. It's 80 total. It's another 20 that are on top of when we go from 80 to 100 in kindergarten, and the third best way is to move into the district. That's it. Because we don't take many kids. We fill our classes and they don't move. Like, we rarely have people leave. So it's, you know, it's sad for people that come in late and would like to bring a third grader in. Occasionally they'll get somebody. We've brought in a couple at the high school or middle school or elementary, but for the most part, it just is what it is. And we don't, I believe that I'm following what you guys, we want to stay about where we are size-wise, right? We don't want to be 18, 19, 2,000. I don't know where we'd put them.
I mean, I look at the high school, those numbers are way high.
Yeah. If we didn't have these restrooms coming in, I don't know what we'd do for kids in restrooms.
Yeah.
It's, and the classes, I mean, we have 30 plus in many of our classes, right, Mark?
That's a lot.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But, and the thing about Bethany is that would be crazy hard in most districts. Here, our kids are good kids that behave. We've got incredible classroom managers that are able to take care of the odd misbehavior, and it works. And kids learn.
So Drew, with the transfers going through the State Department's website, when will we hear, I mean, can we talk about that now?
Yeah, yeah, we can. So that happened on June 1st. That automatically populates in single sign-on, and so Rich has been bringing those off and putting them in a spreadsheet because it's incredibly cumbersome. What we did, the way we did it, was easy. People applied, it filled in a Google spreadsheet, and we had the next day. It was, and we could split it up, we sorted it by grade, we sent it out to the different principals, done. This is hard. This is a lot of man hours for Rich, but he's doing it, and I hope, optimistically think that we're not the only ones having to do this, and I can't imagine what it's taken in a district the size of Oklahoma City or, Putnam City or wherever. It just happens to be that we have a lot of kids on transfer, so it requires, and a lot of people that apply. So we have a lot of work, but we'll get it. I think they didn't communicate to us why they wanted it to go through. We've always had them fill out their form. We just had to fill out our form first. Step 1, fill out our form. Step 2, fill out their form. Our form is the one that put them in line, and we just had them fill out a couple things. We can't do that. I talked to the guy that's the head of accreditation. I know him well. He's from Hydro, and he said, "Nope, can't do it. Everybody, this is what's been handed down."
Well, maybe they'll be able to make some changes if they learned from this.
I hope so. I would imagine
Offer them.
if they're answering the phone, they're hearing a lot, because we've heard a lot.
How many do we normally get? How many transfer requests do we get?
What do you say?
400 probably.
Yeah, I'd say 400 to 500.
Yeah, 400 to 500. In the summer, it goes down during the year, but yeah.
But that includes pre-K, kindergarten, yeah.
400 kids or 400 forms?
400 forms, yeah. Roughly, that's about 400 kids though too.
Yeah. I love that the Children's Center kids are gonna be able to come. Is that any space issues with that?
They just come for part of the day,
Okay.
and they'll come in and interact, be social, be in the classroom. Our kids are great with them. It's good for our kids. It's good for them. They'll be here. I don't know if we have any that stay a half day. Do they? Do we have any? 2 or 3 that.
Okay.
It just really depends on their disability, but they'll be back. It's been 2 years
Wow.
or
That's
3.
great.
How long's it been?
3, probably
3.
Yeah, it's been since
20.
2.5.
March of
Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Motion on 8.
Move to approve item 8.
Second?
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. Item 9, discussion possible action to approve or not approve the lease with the city of Bethany for McFarland Park starting January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2051.
Anybody have questions on that? you've had it for a while, but if you want me to go over anything, I'm happy to do it.
Previous contract was 25 years as well, correct?
25 years, $500 a year was the previous contract, but when that was, 23 years ago, that we didn't have any development out there. They didn't have that football stadium. We didn't have all of our stuff. It's, I can't remember the number. One of the, and I don't even know if it's correct, but it was, that piece of land was, what do you call it, when appraised at like $30 million. So to get what we have out there and all the stuff that we have on it that, is ours, that would just go back to them, because that's what the lease says. For $10,000 a month is reasonable, I think.
Drew, for clarification, can you explain what is included out there?
So,
that? I mean, because SNU's got stuff out there. So what's included?
It's basically from the football field, from the, where the restrooms are on the SNU's side, on the east side.
East side of their stadium?
Uh-huh. Everything from those restrooms, that's part of their, back to the west is theirs. And it goes all the way out to those, it goes all the way south to the rugby fields.
Okay.
And it doesn't go straight there, it kind of jogs back like that, but it's about 50-50. We've got, the baseball and the track stuff and
how about the field that is directly south of the baseball field? It's used where the shot put, the track. Is that part of this? Is that part of SNU?
That's ours.
Yeah, that's part of our share, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a fence out there where the rugby fields are. Is that kind of?
There is, yes.
That's kind of
kind of the
thereabouts
border, I guess,
anyway.
yeah.
Okay. And the parking lots.
Parking lot's theirs,
The parking.
SNU's.
SNU's parking lot.
I
The
mean,
big
we use it,
parking
but-
lot meaning.
Yeah, the big parking lot.
The
yeah.
big parking lot.
The one
south.
that's on our side, be on the north side, the
Okay,
northeast side is ours. But north and west of that line would be theirs.
Are they signing a separate lease with?
They're signing a sublease, so we're
Well, they're
actually.
selling a sublease with us, but are
the-
they signing a separate one with the city?
No,
No?
no, so it goes through us, we will pay 20,000, they'll pay us 10 back.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Motion to approve item number 9?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstead,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. Item 10, discussion of possible action to approve or not approve the sublease with Southern Nazarene University for McFarland Park starting January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2051.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is because you're saying they own that and we own that half, but we all just use the same thing.
we do, we actually have to get permission to, play football, like we have to give them their dates and stuff. We don't have access to the, stadium unless we ask for access to the stadium. Same thing for our side, if they wanna play soccer on our field, they have to, or track or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and
Maybe.
I think I may have said, 10,000 a month, it's 10,000 a year.
You did say a month,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's
it
10,000
reads a year, got it.
Yeah. So it's not even 1,000 a
When you
month.
said that
Yeah.
they
It's-
owned this and that, that's kind of, I was like.
The city owns the whole thing.
Yeah.
And SNU has been a really good partner to work with us, but there is a definite differentiation. They don't want us to infringe on their stuff, and vice versa, because we're responsible for that. If things go the way I hope, we're gonna be, putting in a really nice track and a lot of sod for that field, and, we're gonna want it taken care of. We're gonna care about it,
It's a win-win.
yeah.
Move approval item 10?
Second?
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstead,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. Item 11, discussion of possible action to approve or not approve the following United System proposals for fiscal year 23. A, access control at athletic indoor facility in the amount of $12,839.09. And B, protective enclosure for surveillance cameras in the high school gym in the amount of $429.18.
So just a quick rundown on this. The bane of my existence is the indoor facility. People, no matter how many times we change the locks and say, don't give a key out, the keys end up getting made again and given to people, and that place is always open. It's a liability hazard, and lots of stuff could walk away. We're about to re-turf that when this whole bid for all this turf comes in, and so we've finally said, what can we do? And the solution is we're going to key all the doors the same, which we've done time and time again, but we're not giving those keys out. Only Jennifer has a key, and I think maybe John. There's like 2 keys. And then we're going to put on 4 doors out there, we're going to put these key fobs. And then we're going to give key fobs. So we will know whose key fob got them into the gym, and they automatically lock every time they go out. So maybe we'll get to keep that place secure. I think it's our best chance at doing it. It's not like here at the school where we've got people here in the evening. That's 2 miles away, and people are not always out there. People are used to sometimes getting in there without permission, and it's not a good practice, and it'll ruffle a few feathers, and that's okay. They can talk to me because we have to do this. $12,000, it'll be worth it. The other one is we're just moving a couple of the cameras in the gym because they keep getting hit with basketballs, and we don't want that, so we're going to move them where they won't, and then we're going to put cages on them. And for $400, it's a pretty good deal.
Move approval of item 11.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Jaggers.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Palmer.
Yes.
Wellstad.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. Item 12, discussion possible action to approve or not approve the following renewals, contracts, agreements for fiscal year 24. A, Brightly Software Work Order Solutions Asset Essentials Core Plus Agreement in the amount of $8,208.75. B, Capstone Pebble Go subscription in the amount of $1,697.43. C, Cooperative Council for Oklahoma School Administration's COSA to participate in the COSA District Level Services Program in the amount of $2,000. D, Dreambox Master Software and Services Agreement for the high school and middle school in the amount of $18,685. E, Edmentum Study Island for the Bethany Children's Health Center in the amount of $181. F, Edmentum Reading Eggs for the elementary in the amount of $2,640. G, General Mutual Cooperation Agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Oklahoma County. H, Imagine Learning Digital Library Subscription Use for Credit Recovery in the amount of $7,850. I, Infinite Campus Food Service and Online Payments Implementation and Support. J, John Huntington Photography for the elementary class pictures with 25% commission on all packages sold. K, Oklahoma Teacher and Leader Effectiveness Agreement. L, Renaissance subscription for Accelerated Reader, Star Early Literacy, Star CBM, Star Math, and Star Reading in the amount of $18,366. M, 3P Learning Math Seeds subscription for the elementary in the amount of $2,550. N, the Center for Education Law, PC Basic Legal Services Program. O, Community Action Agency Memorandum of Understanding.
So take it,
Impressive,
item A, is that, I take it, item A, is that like a project management tool for Michael Mont?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, good. Keep track. Everything else pretty
Any other
standard.
questions? Do we do anything with Oklahoma County anymore?
Oklahoma County Government.
Board of County Commissioners?
Yeah.
Oklahoma?
Since I've
Mutual
been here,
support
we,
agreement? Used to, they would repave our parking lots and
Right.
stuff. but
Yeah.
I know some attorney general opinion into that, so.
yeah.
I didn't know why we still do that.
You're gonna, oh, yeah.
Apparently it was sent to us, so we're,
Okay.
we're doing it. Maybe they're gonna do something special for us.
Okay.
We'll be ready if they offer something.
A motion on
Okay.
12.
Motion to approve item 12, A through N,
Oh.
O through N, sorry.
Second.
A through O, whatever it is. Yeah.
Alpha and Omega.
So, there you go.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. Item 13, discussion possible action, approve or not approve the high school cheer to host an NCA home cheer camp during the final week in June in our gymnasium and the cheer facility. Where's the cheer facility?
Move approval item 13.
Second.
Approve it.
They're talking about out at
They're the indoor,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Roll call vote?
Second, did we get a, did you have a second on that?
Okay.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. 14, discussion and possible action to approve or not approve the following out-of-town, out-of-state overnight trips as submitted. A, Palm program to host a home camp June 25th through the 28th to be an overnight camp taking place in the OKC area with expenses to be paid from the Palm Activity Fund. B, high school student council members to attend summer basic and advanced leadership camps through the Oklahoma Association of Student Council in June and July with partial payment from the activity fund, and students be responsible for their own transportation.
Move to approve item 14.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. Item 15, discussion and possible action to approve or not approve the high school having a half-day of school on April 26th, 2024 to accommodate students for prom.
So always in the past, we've had prom on the Friday before, Good Friday? Not the Friday before Good Friday, Good Friday. But this year didn't work out into our calendar, we couldn't make that work. So what Mark is proposing is the date that they set for the prom is the 26th or whatever it is. But we know that all those boys and girls that are going to the prom are gonna go get ready for the prom that afternoon, maybe all day. So we were gonna have school in the morning and do an early release, just high school. Won't cause any transportation issues. They're gonna be gone one way or the other. If we release them, we're just giving them permission, because otherwise they're gonna be checked out.
And the other part is just that Friday, you know, what our junior class sponsor Tess McNabb told me, looking at venues, the price goes up considerably on a Saturday as opposed to a Friday. So it's an attempt to kind of control those prom prices to keep the tickets down.
Move approval item 15.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad,
Yes.
Pettit,
Yes. Motion for executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Wallstad,
Yes.
Pettit.
Okay, during the executive session, only the members of the board, the superintendent, and the elementary principal were present. Only items discussed were those listed on the agenda, and no votes were taken.
Motion to uphold item A.
Second?
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Abstain?
Palmer,
Yes.
Alstad,
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. A motion for 16.
Motion to approve item 16B through Q, adding Kristen Bibbs as head softball coach
On item E.
on N, item N.
Second?
Roll call vote.
Jaggers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Alstad,
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes. Informational items.
Financial board meeting is the 29th at 6. That'll be in place of the July board meeting, as we always do. OSSBA Educational Leadership Conferences, that's the one we always go to, and you guys get your points. August 24th through 27th. I assume you all want me to sign you up, 4 of you.
On item B, the 24th, August 24th through 27th, you're saying?
August 20th, yes, that,
I will be out of town.
okay, all right. Saved us some money, man, that's good. All right, so just the 3
Thank
of you,
you
right?
for sending us
All
that.
right. I'll take care of that.
18, board member comments.
They're a chatty group.
No.
No.
Not really.
19, superintendent's report.
Students are gone, the hallways are empty, construction on the new high school rooms, restrooms, and science rooms have begun. The high school graduation was outstanding. Thank you for everyone involved for making that evening run as smoothly as it did. Particularly Lisa Tackett, she just keeps them going. We talked about the law conference. All administrators will be going to the COSA New Law Conference next Wednesday, the 14th, at 1:30 in the afternoon. The COSA Conference for Professional Development will be on June 15th and 16th, so the Thursday, Friday. I'll be presenting at the COSA Conference Thursday morning in a session entitled Addressing Student Behavior Through Positive, Appropriate Relationships. And we have paint crews in the hallways and classrooms throughout the district. And that concludes my report.
We're adjourned.
Thanks.